All right, everybody, bring it in time for the latest edition of Gunn on One. The season continues to wind down. The Eagles are in the driver's seat in the NFC, and more importantly, the NFC East. And of course, the big issue this week is, should Jalen Hurts play or not? Will he play or not? You know, I've had a lot of great guests, but this guy I have on this particular show is somebody I got to know shortly after I got to Philadelphia. And he was a part of our pre and post game crew on CSN, which was Comcast Sportsnet, which is now NBC Sports Philadelphia. He's a former Eagle and a former Denver Bronco. Vaughn Hebron is about to chop it up with D Gunn on this edition of Gunn on One.
This is Sal Palantonio from ESPN.
I'm Brandon Graham.
Lane Johnson here.
This is the magnificent DJ Jazzy Jeffy.
This is Donovan McNabb.
This is Chris Long.
This is Mark Sumoff, the TV voice of the 76ers on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
This is Eagles Hall of Fame quarterback Ron Jaworski.
Hello, I'm Jay Wright, head coach of Villanova basketball.
Hey, I'm Brian Westbrook, and you're listening to the Gunn On One podcast.
And what's happening? This is your blessed boy, Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer, and you're locked in to Gunn On One.
You are locked in to the Gunn On One.
Gunn On One.
Gunn On One.
You are locked on to Gunn on One.
I've been on the air for 25 years, but I could not wait to be on Gunn on One with my man, Derrick Gunn.
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi telling you to stay locked on to Gunn on One. It is a number one seed.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll on this edition of Gunn on One. And as promised, I'm bringing in now a guy I got to know when I first got to Philadelphia. We were family for a while at CSN. He was a member, started his NFL career with the Philadelphia Eagles, went on to Denver, and won himself a couple of Super Bowl rings. He is the one and only Vaughn Hebron. What's up, man? It's been so long since we've talked.
What's up, D Gunn? How you doing, baby?
Good, man. Look, since you left CSN, man, it's like you just became a ghost. I mean, I just lost all track of you, man. It's like you couldn't wait to get away from D Gunn and the rest of us, man. What's up with that?
Well, I was literally, the family was starting then, D Gunn. You know, the kids are getting older. The weekends, you know, you stop. Your weekends are no longer yours. So I was doing what the kids needed. So that's really what it. Look, it was no love lost there. You know, you my man. But it was just the family. The kids started playing sports. I started getting into it, and that was it. That's really what happened.
And man, you know what's funny is through the advent of social media, we've been able to follow each other on Facebook, man. And it's like I watched your family grow up, man,
Exactly.
on Facebook, dude.
Yeah.
And I want to get to a little bit later your daughter, who is a track star. I believe she's down at the University of Miami now.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna get in on that because I want to ask you a lot about, as a former professional athlete, grooming a child to push themselves beyond their limits, and who can give better insight than somebody who's been it as a professional athlete and now has a daughter who's about to do incredible things, or already has, but will continue. But you know, now correct me if I'm wrong, but when you were at CSN, you started your own fitness and personal trainer company then. Was that correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. And I find out that you are still the CEO and president of VMS Movement Specialists. Now give me, look at you. You're a president and
look,
CEO.
It's just funny, right? Did you write that down? Look, I'm the president, the CEO, the janitor. You know what I'm saying? I'm the secretary because I'm the one-man band. So I'm all that, baby. I'm the trainer.
So you don't have employees to do all this menial stuff?
No, sir. I do it all. So
you have time to sleep?
I also keep all the money. So hey,
there you go.
It works out on both ends.
But do you have time to sleep?
Oh yeah, I sleep. Hey, look, like I told you, I mean, I'm doing. Not only am I training, obviously I've been able to train all my kids. I've never missed a track meet. I've been there. I mean, that's the beauty about it. Gunn, I work as much as I want to, and as least as I want to. That's just that's what it is. I call the shots. I work when I want, and that's it. And And the crazy thing, since the pandemic, I've started doing Zoom. So that's made it even more convenient. So, because I can travel anytime I want and do my stuff from Zoom as well. So it's a good deal.
Okay. So when you started this company, what was your vision for it? And have you achieved the goals? Have you exceeded the goals? Or are you still trying to reach the goals?
I've exceeded my goals, D-Gun. Because my first goal was, look, I've been blessed to two careers now, actually 3 careers, including, broadcasting and having fun on TV. Well, I've been able to play a sport and make a living.
Yeah.
And doing that, when it was tailing off, you think to yourself, like, look, how are you gonna go to a 9 to 5? How do you gonna go to something that you don't care for, you're not passionate for? I was like, that's not gonna work. So I love the camera. I love being in front of the camera. So I got to work with you for many, many years.
Yeah.
And then, one of my boys was like, yo, you always loved the process of, the grind, getting your body right, getting your mind right. And I started with a few clients from kids, training for sports. I caught the bug and I was like, this is it. And so truthfully, Gunn, I've never worked a day in my life.
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing. I've been able to do 3 things that I love and I'm passionate about and make a living.
Wow. So you said you've exceeded your goals. So how many clients are you looking at now? And what there's so many personal trainers out there. What is your angle that's different from everybody else?
You know what? I like this, Gunn. Yeah, I love this. I might have to send you a check.
There you go. Hey, look, make sure it has 6 zeros behind that one.
Good. I might have to send you a check. For me, what do I separate myself? Bottom line, look, first and foremost, you got to respect. It's one thing getting somebody through the door. Yeah. It's another thing, especially when you're dealing with kids. They got to believe that you've done it.
Yeah.
And is still willing to do it. You know what I mean? Because we always are looking for that thing to disconnect. Why can't I do something? Why would I take a break? So when they know, first of all, your history and your present, meaning you live the same thing you're talking, right? It's just they're going to stand up straighter. You know what I mean? They're going to listen to that next word. And that's my catch. You know what I mean? At Gunn, I work out 6 days a week, and I do it. And I make sure if there's any question, all you have to do is tell me a time you want to work out with me, and you see everything I'm telling you, I live. That's it, Gunn.
Okay.
That's literally what it is.
So how much easier was it to sell yourself as a fitness specialist, considering that you are a former professional athlete?
Okay. So initially, again, like I said, Gunn, it gets them in the door.
Right.
Not so much nowadays, because most of the clients that I deal with, they never seen me play.
Okay.
They might hear from their parents. So at the end of the day, it's about results. And, how do you grab them? What is different from what they're doing now? And my biggest thing is attention to detail.
Okay.
All right. Mean what you say what you mean. And most people, I don't care the worst and the worst, most people, they want structure. Gunn, they want structure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, you got to live by that all the time. Too many trainers, Gunn, they want to try to keep the money flowing.
Yeah.
So therefore, they end up, after the first 2 weeks, they end up becoming somebody's friend. I'm your, hey, look, we talk about the weather, we talk about your dog. And I'm not saying I don't become friends, but at the end of the day, our relationship started on business. And it has to be business first. So therefore, when you don't want to do something, that's fine. That's why you come to me.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? And that's our relationship. I'm going to hold you to a standard that you're not going to hold yourself.
Okay. So considering that you have a wide range age group of clients.
From 6 years old to 7, my oldest is 74.
Okay. And how many total clients do you have?
Right now we're talking about 100.
About 100.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a one-man band? You're the CEO, the president, the janitor?
So I do classes. I do
Yeah.
classes as well as, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do classes and personal training.
Wow.
Since the pandemic, I've veered more towards personal.
Okay.
Mhm.
So with that said, because you've competed at the highest level as a professional athlete, how do you know now, and I'm talking about different age ranges now, how do you know how far to push and when to pump the brakes?
Okay, so first of all, it's the intensity is always the same.
Okay.
But what someone can do, 74-year-old person to a D1 athlete,
Yeah.
that's where the modifications differ. So I literally, in a lot of cases, Gunn, in the class, you might have those two people working out together. But you, for example, D Gunn is doing something for D Gunn.
Right.
And that D1 player is doing something for him.
Okay.
And that's my responsibility to make sure they're doing what they need to do. But the intensity is the same, meaning it's going to be intense as it can be for the 74 and intense it can be for the D1.
So how many high school / college players do you work with?
Quite, it revolves, but
Okay.
at the present time, it depends on what time of year, like going in, off season, as opposed to regular season where
Right.
they're doing certain things. But quite a few.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, business has been good, dude. As far as not to go into numbers, but it's been more rewarding than playing professional football.
Really?
Yeah.
What can you hire me then? I need a part-time job. I sweep floors, I wash windows. I don't care. Can you hire me?
Because D, look, this is the beautiful thing. The health industry is not going anywhere, D.
Mhm.
People are living longer. They're living longer. Quality of life, mental health has become a big thing. And that starts with physical health, right? If you ain't right physically, you ain't gonna be right mentally.
Right.
That's the real deal. So, it's a beautiful thing to be in. And at the same time, when people, like I said, when you create that respect factor, people do what you want them to do. And when they see results, and it's another thing, D. This is great for me.
Right.
I don't advertise. Everything has been word of mouth.
Okay.
Everything is word of mouth. So that's also a thing where, people, they kind of vet them for you. I don't take everyone.
Right.
I'm not. You're not gonna find me on Groupon.
Okay.
It's kind of exclusive. Not everybody's gonna come to me, and I don't want people to come to me. I've let people go, because if you ain't trying to work, I don't want you. You only, as a trainer, you're only as good as your client allows you to be.
Okay.
If they not trying to work, I'm not that guy. I tell them all the time. I mean, I'm not for everybody.
Right.
I'm an acquired taste.
I like that. Well, I know you. I know you still keep tabs on the Philadelphia Eagles, man.
Oh, of course.
And I've got to ask you in a general sense your thoughts on this team, the way they've ascended to this record, the best record in the NFL this year.
All right. So my biggest thing, it starts and ends with Mr. Hurts. I've been a fan since Alabama. I told people from day one, the way this man carries himself, I mean, obviously we can talk about the improvement this year.
Sure.
But even if that wouldn't have happened, the naysayers, the way he carries himself, if you tune into a game, right, you don't know if they up by 50 or down by 50.
You're right.
This man is, and I'm telling you, being in the locker room, you can't ask for better. You can't, because this guy, you know what he's going to bring to the table each and every day.
Mm.
I'm not going to lie to you. And so I saw this type of jump, but I knew it was going to be an improvement because you just look at his background. And he's shown it in every. And he's been in every situation imaginable. Go back to think about how many kids have gone through what that man has gone through. He's at Alabama. All he's done is won. You in the national championship, they sit you down.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn around and next year, and this is all Tua has ever said, all he did was support him.
Right.
No hate, no nothing. Kept quiet about it, didn't say a word. When they needed him, he comes in, he wins at that point, the biggest game of the year.
Right.
To get him into the championship, sits him back down, doesn't say a word. Even transferred quietly. Come on, D-Gun. Where does that happen at?
No, it doesn't happen.
So as character, you can't buy character. That's who this kid is. So to me, it starts and ends with him because he's the heartbeat. Now, obviously, talk about the coaching. Nick Sirianni is obviously he's definitely more than I thought.
Right.
I thought the boy was suspect. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he was very suspect, but he's the one thing I love is his emotion, his energy, and obviously the team has responded to it. And he's put a great coaching staff together.
Yeah.
And they got some ballers this year, Gunn. So it's all clicking. Do I think they can be there at the end? Of course. But at the same time, I think it's some teams that can give them some problems.
Right.
But I love what I see. I love what I see because at the end of the day, it's hard. It's hard to say, okay, it's a definite. It's football, man. And you always can come down with 4 teams that have a chance. And I think that's going to happen. But I think they've done everything they need to do to be there. I love when I see, the grinding because come to playoffs, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be nick and tuck, and it's going to be making the big plays down when it matters.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Jalen first because, as you know, the big topic of discussion this week, once it leaked out, is that he has a sprained shoulder. Is should he or should he not play on a short week against the Dallas Cowboys because it's the Cowboys number one.
Yeah.
If they win the game, they wrap up the 1 seed, the division, all that stuff. Because you've played with players and quarterbacks who've dealt with shoulder sprains.
Yes.
So what's your perspective on what you've heard in terms of how they're trying to handle this or how they should handle this?
Yeah, I haven't heard much, Gunn, so I ain't gonna lie about that. But as far as injuries go, this time of year, very few people, and if nobody, if they've been playing a considerable amount of snaps, everybody's banged up somehow.
Right.
If you would hope that they make the right decision as far as true health. If this is something that can't say can he injure it more because it's football, anybody can get injured. But if he's well enough to go, I like to see him go because sometimes it's so easy to say, well, rest him. Well, at the same time, Jalen is in a great place as far as rhythm, and you would hate, to mess up their rhythm going into when you need them most. But if it's any doubt, you should sit them. That's why you have a great backup and see where you lie there. And, if we don't, take over and secure division this week, maybe it'll be next week. But I wouldn't risk it. But if he's good enough to go, I would have him go. So, I'm kind of sitting on the line there.
So you started your NFL career here. You were here for a few years. Did you develop the hatred for the Cowboys the way everybody else in Philadelphia hated the Cowboys?
I'm gonna tell you the funniest story, D.
Yeah.
I was the biggest Cowboy fan you want to see. When I got into the league, all my life I was a Tony D fan.
Okay.
I go all the way back when they used to do the shift and they used to go up. Newhouse,
That's right.
all that. I was that guy. Randy White, you name it, I was them. So I literally had to talk to myself before the first because I'm starting against them on Monday night, my rookie year.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, we playing the Cowboys. I'm like, how's that going to go? Man, so the year we played them, they was still the Cowboys. I mean, they was that team.
Okay.
Ken Norton, them boys. Man, you talk about how much stuff them boys talk. I mean, they talked, and they were killing us. Man, by the end of that game, I hated the Cowboys. I hated them. And so that was the funniest thing. I go into the game. I'm like, how's this going to work? They my boys. I'm like, yo. By the end of the game, oh, man, I'm cursing just like that. So, yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's the funniest thing, man. Going into that game, I was like, oh, it's my boys. Man, they called me anything. I'm telling you, man. Oh, my God. It was vicious. I was like, come on, that's uncalled for. Yeah, I was not a Cowboy fan after that.
So do you still have the hatred for him, or are you so far along in your life now it's like,
Yeah, I'm a football fan, man. And two teams I root for is the Eagles and the Broncos. And it's hard to root for the Broncos, right?
I don't want to bring that up, but now that you mention it, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, Eagles all day, baby.
So you know what it's like to take that journey and get all the way to the Super Bowl. And you won it twice. You got 2 rings.
Twice.
I know for
Twice.
a fact. I know for a
Twice.
fact because I've seen you flash it in my face a few times.
Oh, come on, dude. You know how you do it.
So what does this team have to concern itself with and be cautious of as they continue on this journey? I mean, they're blowing people away.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because see, D, we won 2 in a row.
Right.
But the year in '96, D, we was 13-3 that year. We won a division so early. I mean, we literally Patriots ended up going that year. We beat the Patriots by 30 points.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, we got complacent. We clinched so early, we shut it down. Wow. So Jaguars came in that year, and they were when I'm about to say awful. They weren't awful by the end of the year, but they were having a horrible year.
Okay.
They had to win their last 6 games to get into the playoffs.
Mm.
And then they, obviously it was a wild card, winning to Buffalo and beat Buffalo. So my point is, they literally were playing 7 weeks of playoff ball. We shut it down. Mm. So you understand, it was 2 teams going in a different direction. So the next year we obviously had a great year. And Mike decided, no, we ain't shutting down nothing. Obviously, if it was some true injuries, you rest them. But everybody else locked and loaded. And obviously, it worked out with 2 Super Bowls. So my point is, sometimes when you have this great year, great record, you have a tendency to take the foot off the gas.
Sure. You
got to be careful with that because it's a lot of teams scratching and clawing. So they're in that playoff mode, and now when the playoffs started, you trying to rev up, they already at that level. Mm. So think about the year Giants. Giants 2 Super Bowls, they were 8-8.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's how you playing when it matters. So you got to be careful. You want to keep that rhythm. You want to keep that continuity with your different players and your teams. So it's always that fine line. Yes, if you got true injuries, rest them. But if you talk about Knicks, and you at least play them for X amount of quarters so they get in that rhythm where I'm full speed as opposed to I'm chilling. You know what I mean? And then say, look, if we get this lead, then you shut them down. If that makes sense. That's the one thing that I always remembered that we changed in our 2 Super Bowl runs as opposed to '96.
So with that said, Give me a team or two that you worry about possibly being
San Fran.
I was going to say
they built for that. And look at they never flashy. They don't look like anything. And the next playoffs, they built for that. They are built for playoffs. Physical, great defense. They run the ball. They built for the playoffs every year. It's not about scared, but I just think it's literally them as far as the NFC, them and the Cowboys. I think if the Cowboys are hitting on all cylinders.
Don't say the Cowboys. Don't say the Cowboys, man.
We trying to keep it real, right? We're gonna keep it real.
Right.
The Cowboys, if they're hitting on all cylinders, they're doing well. They run the ball. I mean, here's the thing. Our run defense is sus.
Right.
It's a little suspect.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. So, what you think we're gonna see in the playoffs?
Run the ball.
Run the ball. You know what I mean? Now, when you play a team like Tennessee, right? You know their quarterback ain't gonna beat you.
Right.
I'm talking about when you got a Dak and you got a run game, that becomes an issue because now you can't just load up the box. That San Fran, we don't know who's gonna be playing, but Shanahan always finds a way. So and the defense is so aggressive and obviously it's number one defense. Would I put them Eagles up against them any day? Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not above that. I think they can defeat us. So, and that's how the playoffs is. It's always, you know what I mean. So, I'm looking forward to it. I've seen everything. I think we can win. We've shown that we can win in every way imaginable. We can run. We can run roughshod over you. Jalen can make the passes that he needs. Special teams is always a little sus. So that worries me because come playoffs, field position is going to be
right.
It's going to be ample. So that's hope. I would like to see more out about playoffs. If you think about that, I mean, our special teams, that's the only team that really hasn't set themselves apart.
Okay.
And you hope that doesn't bite you a little later. But other than that, I'm a ride with my boy. I love what I see.
Hey, look, I ain't worried about no Dak Prescott. That dude's got more more interceptions over the last month and a half than he has touchdown passes. He plays better for the opposition than he does his own team.
D, listen to me. All I'm saying is when we talk, you got to talk about the teams that's playing. You got to say if they're playing at their best.
Right.
If they're playing at their best, what would happen? They're playing at their best.
Right.
That's going to be a good game. Now, if they're not playing the best, you can say that about anything. If we're not playing at our best, you know what I mean? So you gotta get the benefit of the doubt on all teams. I think it's very few teams, if any, that can beat us if we're hitting on all cylinders. Right? We've seen that.
Yeah,
every time that we think, where I mean, look, it's so funny how we really haven't gotten credit for that Giants game. Okay. Like going into that Giants game, you tell me how many people they weren't nervous. It was like, going into New York.
Yeah.
Giants has played everyone tough. I was nervous about that game.
Right.
Man, every time it's been a game like that. Tennessee, Minnesota, and the Giants, man, it's a different team that shows up. Eagles. So, hopefully we dealing with that energy. But I'm just talking, when you're talking about opponents who can beat, if they're playing at their best, it should be quality games.
Okay. All right. Hey, as I told you off the top of my podcast, man, before I let you go, I've got to talk to you about this almost world-class athlete that you have who's a part of your bloodline. And I got a chance to watch her grow and develop through the years through Facebook. You being an athlete who played competitively at the fiercest and the highest level, as you helped develop your daughter to be the track star that she became and is becoming still, how difficult was it for you to push her, mentor her, and know when to back off and not strain a relationship?
Oh, D Gunn, you spitting, baby.
See?
You spitting. D, I'm gonna tell you, trial and error. Trial and error. It's being a great coach is all about connecting, right? Yes, you gotta hold them at a standard, but you gotta know how to communicate with them. And everybody's different. With my daughter, first of all, she is driven, right?
Okay.
So a lot of that is, look, if you tell her, if you do this, this will work. She like, where do I sign up?
Okay.
Sanaya, if you go through this wall with your head, this is going to get you this. She's like, Dad, what part of the wall that's how I'm telling you.
Okay.
She is tunnel vision. Now, having that said, one of the things I had to learn is after a meet, good, bad, or indifferent, you have to find something positive to say.
Okay.
Like, I don't care if it was the worst meet at work. You better tell her, Sanaya, your hair looks amazing. Your hair looks amazing. Or Sanaya, the way you wearing them cleats, oh my God. Something. Then you give her a little time, let it marinate a little bit. She'll start telling you what she needs to work on.
Okay.
You can't go in right away. And once she starts to talk about it,
right,
then you can say whatever you need to say. That took some learning. D-Gun, that took some learning. Because I'm like, what's up with the start? What's up with this? What's up? And then we lower.
They don't want to hear that.
We fighting and nothing getting done. So it was some trial and error, but we got it. We got it down. D-Gun, by the senior year.
Yeah.
What? I'm telling you it. And I'm telling you, D, me and my daughter, when I'm telling you we were together, if we talk about 100%, we were together 99%. So think about that. D.
Okay.
You know how that is. That could go bad. That could go bad.
Yeah.
But it was all good, D. All good.
So
would not change a thing.
So how's she doing down in Miami now?
She's doing amazing. And sometimes you make decisions because again, it's like getting married, D, and you got a couple of visits to make that decision, a couple of conversations on the phone, and you're like, we's married now. So a lot of times you got remorse. You're like, oh, you told me this, but it ain't that. Nah, everything I thought it was, it is. The coach is exactly who I thought she was. And Sanaya has an amazing roommate. The team leaders are great leaders. So it's so far, I couldn't ask for better.
Well, I mean, okay, so she's in this sports bubble because she's an elite athlete. She's protected more so than the average college student, but she is still daddy's baby girl.
Oh,
and you know what it's like on college campuses. So does daddy every now and then maybe take a surprise visit down to Miami just to see what's going on?
Of course. Hey, and look, always FaceTime, and I don't just call. I FaceTime, and you better answer. You better answer. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, we So I'm telling you, man, I've been blessed with her. She is focused. She don't.
Okay.
She focused. She is. I'm here. She already set a goal. She want to be ACC Freshman of the Year.
Okay.
The Olympic standards times came out yesterday. She sends them to me, and I said, "So what's this mean?" She was like, "You know what it is."
Okay.
Like, what?
All right. Okay.
So, I was like, "Look, if you don't believe it, who else gonna believe it?" So
that's right.
She's already set them goals. So I could not be more proud of her, man.
You know her better than anybody, but again, I'm going to ask you this. Let's say you go down there for a visit, and all of a sudden she said, "Hey, Dad, this is Billy or Henry or Joe. I want you to meet my dad."
So you try to play with me now.
No, but I'm saying, what's your response going to be?
So here, I give you. I go all the way back to high school, right?
Okay,
So,
all right.
She is now. So in the beginning, I got 2 daughters. So this ain't my first rodeo, right? So the oldest daughter, I learned very quickly. Look, if you want to be a part of any of those conversations, you can't judge. You know what I mean? You got to just sit back.
Yep.
And you got to allow them to make some mistakes.
Right.
And be there for them.
Yep.
Right? Because if they say something and you automatically jump on it, they ain't gonna say nothing else to you.
No.
Especially when it comes to boys.
No.
So she has this boy. She's at school. She has this boy that she's been talking to that I was unaware of. And so she introduces to me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I do the quiet thing. I don't say nothing. And my man says, "What's up, bro?"
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
Hey, yo. So hold on, D. I just, my eyes got big. I said, I ain't say nothing. And my daughter looked at me and said, so, she already knew. She already knew it's a wrap. So she was like, "Yeah, Dad, and so
What's up, bro?
So that got cut off quick. She's like, it's a wrap. So then there's another kid. And I did talk to him. And he said all the right things. But I had a feeling. I was like, I said, "Sweetheart, you do what you want to do. But Daddy think he a little suspect."
Okay.
I ain't like the vibe. So literally, he lasted for about 3 months. And she was like, "Dad, you was right. He was real needy, D-Gun, real needy.
Oh,
gee. Clingy." And so right from there, now she asks me first. I ain't say nothing. I just sat back. Again, when she asked, I tell.
Okay.
So that's how it's been working. That's how it's been working.
Well, you know what, man? I'm so glad I finally caught up with you. It's been too many years.
Yes, it has.
Man, I wish you much continued success in your personal training, fitness venture. I wish your daughter tremendous success and blessings. And I hope to see and hear the name Vaughn Hebron at the Olympics one day.
Oh, man.
And see Daddy sitting in the stands with the American flag, waving the flag back and forth.
D-Gun.
You know.
Hey, look, man. Hey, as long as she's reaching for that star, man, I told her, even if you miss, think about where you at. You know what I mean? How far are you up? So that's how we live. And that's how we approach high school too. You know, I said, make your list where you want to go. Dream that. You got to see it first. So yeah, D, I appreciate you, man. I really do.
Well, man, I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and all the best for 2023. And I know you big time, and I got to make appointments to see you, but I'm gonna make it a point of reaching out, just hitting you up every now and then, just to see how you're doing, just to keep tabs on.
All I know is, look, D. All I saw was D Gunn. Bam! How quick I hit you back, D. Come on now.
Like 10 seconds.
Come on. That's how we doing. That's how we doing. You my man. Always have been. Always have been.
We family for life, bro. Ain't no question about that.
All right, baby.
All
hey,
right,
look, Merry Christmas to you and the fam, all right?
Thank you, my brother. All right,
baby.
That's going to wrap up this edition of Gunn On One. It is powered by the JAKIB Sports Media Machine. Man, this is special to me. This is like a Christmas gift to me because I get to talk to my man, Vaughn Hebron. So for Vaughn Hebron, I'm Derrick Gunn. And for my producer, Xander Krause, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody out there. And, of course, we'll be back next week to see what the Eagles did against those hated Dallas Cowboys. Until next time, as I always tell you each and every week, stay blessed out there. But more importantly, when you can, be a blessing to each and every person you encounter. Until next time, we out.